The lake lay hidden, shrouded by ancient woods. It was a place untouched by sunlight. Trees pressed close, their branches intertwining like grasping claws. They choked the path to the water's edge. The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. This was a place of perpetual twilight, even at midday. The sun was a distant memory, filtered through the dense canopy above. Shadows danced in the gloom, taking on monstrous shapes that shifted with the wind. No bird song broke the silence, only the rustling of unseen creatures and the whisper of the breeze. Deep in the heart of this primeval forest, the lake slumbered. Its surface, black as ink, mirrored nothing. It was a void, reflecting neither sky nor tree, only the emptiness within its depths. This was not a place of life, this was a place of secrets, of sorrow, of death. Nightfall brought a different kind of darkness. It seeped from the ground, a cold, clinging mist that rolled across the lake. It swirled and eddied, tendrils reaching out like spectral fingers. It carried on the wind whispers of a tragedy long past, a name uttered in hushed tones. It was on nights like these that she appeared, a solitary figure rising from the depths, her form barely discernible in the swirling mist. Her hair, long and dark as seaweed, clung to her face, dripping with the chill of the lake. The water streamed down her pale skin, a ghostly imitation of tears. Her eyes, when they caught the moonlight, were two bottomless pools. They held a sorrow so profound, so ancient that it sent shivers down the spine of any who dared to meet her gaze. She moved with an unnatural grace, her bare feet leaving no trace on the damp earth. Her presence hung heavy in the air, a suffocating weight that stole the breath and chilled the soul. She was a phantom, a wraith, a whisper of despair in the stillness of the night. She was the Drowned Maiden, and the lake was her domain. Once she had been human, a young woman named Anya, filled with life and laughter. She had lived in a village nestled at the forest's edge, her days filled with the simple joys of a life lived close to the earth. But Anya harbored a secret, a love for a young man named Dmitri, whose heart belonged to another. Blinded by love, Anya confessed her feelings. Dmitri, cruel in his indifference, scorned her affections. He mocked her openly, his laughter echoing through the village square. Humiliated and heartbroken, Anya fled into the forest, seeking solace in the only place she knew she could find it, the shores of the lake. She stood at the water's edge, tears streaming down her face. The reflection staring back at her was a stranger. This was not the life she had envisioned. Despair, dark and suffocating, wrapped around her like a shroud. There was no escape, no solace to be found. In her grief, she made a fateful decision. The lake, once a place of peace, now beckoned with a chilling promise. With a final whispered prayer, Anya surrendered herself to the icy embrace of the water. Now she was lost to the lake, trapped between worlds. Her spirit lingered, fueled by a thirst for revenge. She was no longer the gentle Anya, but something colder, crueler. She was the Drowned Maiden, and woe betide any who crossed her path. Her sorrow had twisted into something dark and powerful. It emanated from her like a physical force, chilling the air around her. Those who stumbled upon the lake on foggy nights felt an irresistible pull, a compulsion to approach the water's edge, drawn by an unseen hand. The temperature plummeted with each step closer. The air grew thick with the scent of decaying vegetation and the metallic tang of blood. Panic welled up, a primal fear that whispered of danger, urging them to turn back, but it was too late. The maiden had them in her grasp. She would appear then, a spectre in the mist. Her face, hidden behind a curtain of dripping hair, was the last thing they would ever see. Her touch was ice, a bone-chilling cold that spread through their veins, paralyzing them with terror. She would whisper their name, her voice a hollow echo that seemed to come from the depths of the lake itself. And then, with a strength born of despair, she would drag them down. The water closed over their heads, a suffocating blanket of darkness. The shock of the cold stole their breath, their lungs burning with the need for air. They thrashed and struggled, but it was no use. The maiden held them fast, her grip unbreakable. Down, down they sank, the surface light fading above them. The water was murky, filled with unseen things that brushed against their skin. Panic gave way to a chilling resignation as they realized the futility of their fight. This was the end. Through the haze of terror, they would hear it, a sound that chilled them to the core, a soft, melodic laugh that echoed through the water, twisted and distorted, yet undeniably filled with a chilling delight. It was the maiden's victory cry, a celebration of her vengeance. The drowned maiden didn't let her victims go easily. She reveled in their terror, their desperate struggle for life. She held them beneath the surface, her touch a suffocating pressure, until their struggles ceased. And then, with a final mournful sigh, she would claim them as her own. Their souls, trapped within the confines of the lake, became one with her sorrow. They joined the chorus of whispers that haunted the fog, their voices adding to the symphony of despair that clung to the lake. They were lost, forgotten by the world above, condemned to wander the depths for eternity. The maiden's embrace was cold, but it was also a release, a finality that ended their suffering, even as it condemned them to a fate worse than death. They were hers now, bound to her by their shared tragedy. They would become part of the lake's grim history. Their story a cautionary tale, whispered around flickering fires on cold winter nights. The lake held its secrets close, but on certain nights when the moon hung low and heavy in the sky, the water would stir. The surface, usually still as glass, would ripple and churn as if disturbed by an unseen hand. Those brave enough to venture close on such nights would see them. Faces, pale and bloated, staring up from the depths. Their eyes, wide with eternal terror, seemed to follow the living, their empty gaze a chilling reminder of the lake's dark power. They were there one moment, gone the next, swallowed by the murky depths, only to reappear in a different spot as if playing a macabre game of hide and seek. They were beyond reach, beyond help, forever trapped in their watery purgatory. The sight was enough to send even the bravest soul fleeing in terror. It was a chilling reminder of the lake's hunger and the price paid by those who dared to defy its mistress. The villagers knew the truth. They knew the lake was cursed, haunted by the restless spirit of the drowned maiden. They kept their distance, avoiding the path that led to its shores. They warned their children away, spinning tales of its horrors to keep them safe. But some nights, when the wind howled through the trees and the fog rolled in, thick and heavy, they could hear it. A chorus of whispers carried on the breeze. Faint cries for help, muffled by the water, filled with a sorrow so profound that it sent shivers down their spines. They were the echoes of the lost, the victims of the drowned maiden's wrath. Their voices, forever trapped beneath the surface, served as a chilling reminder of the lake's dark power. A reminder that some wounds, like some loves, never truly heal. And so the lake remained untouched, a place of fear and sorrow, forever bound to the legend of the drowned maiden. A haunting testament to the destructive nature of love and the enduring power of despair.